All right, now what's happening here is absolutely sublime. Apparently, America has the audacity to legislate its own companies, and the European Union is screaming bloody murder because they're making the point that no, 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 we get to legislate American companies. America doesn't get to legislate its own. So, if you're not aware of what this is about, recently there was a case involving OpenAI where they got sued for copyright violation. And one of the judges said that, okay, well, we need you to store all of the data that you have in perpetuity. And this came into conflict with the EU GDPR regulations, which basically say that no, a company has to delete the data if a EU citizen asks. And so there's a conflict going on. Like OpenAI, which is an American company operating in America, is being told by an American judge that they should store the data. Now, whether you agree with it or not, in principle, like it would make sense that the country which has the company operating under would have the legal authority of telling that company what to do. But the European Union is saying, no, 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 no. Listen. Like on the World Wide Web, we get to decide what happens. Now, here's the interesting part, because I saw Academic Agent talking about nation sovereignty and all that bullshit when the UK did a similar joke with Ofcom. If you want to become like China, or if you want to become like North Korea or Afghanistan, sure. Like, you can disconnect your nation from the World Wide Web and then just have like your own personal internet, and then you get to decide what happens there. And if you don't like something, you just ban it. Like, that's the Chinese way of doing things, that's the North Korean way of doing things, and while I don't agree with it, I can't say that they're being hypocritical or that they're reaching. Alternatively, you can be like the United States. And you can say that, well, the internet is free and companies that work in our nation has to follow our laws. But, for instance, if a company exists someplace else, it is what it is. And so the problem happens when you have nations like the European Union or nations like the United Kingdom or Australia, which are now saying that, no, we don't want to lock ourselves down like China. We don't want to be like North Korea, where we cut ourselves out from the World Wide Web. What we want is to continue using American infrastructure, but at the same time, just like China, we want to regulate the American infrastructure. And so they pushed for things like GDPR, which, by the way, they consider it a flagship legislation and they're very happy about it. And now they're forcing American companies to be GDPR compliant. Now, if you don't know what GDPR is, it's something that started during the first Trump presidency, when basically leftists panicked and they were horrified at the way that Trump managed to win the election. And basically what he did is that he worked with a company called Cambridge Analytica, which used a crawler on Facebook and other social media websites in order to find out which person is a right-winger and what issues do they give a fuck about. And so if they would check the person's likes and they would check the person's posts and find out that they care about immigration, they would basically tell Donald Trump, like, this amount of people from America, this percentage cares about immigration. And then Trump would make a platform that would please these people. And then Cambridge Analytica would go and they would look and see how right-wingers feel about homosexuality. And then they would tell Donald Trump, look, in 2016, most right-wingers are actually cool with homosexual individuals. Don't be too homophobic in public. And then you get to see Donald Trump with the LGBT flag, saying that it's okay for gay people to vote Republican. So basically, like, what he did is he got the polls, he got the surveys of what his constituents wanted in 2016, and he absolutely bypassed and ignored the legacy media. He didn't care about what Fox News was saying, he didn't care about anything. Like, he basically said, look, in order for the right-wingers to win, we gotta ally ourselves with some of the center. These are the people and the demographics that we can pull to us. And so the European Union was absolutely mortified at this thing. And they immediately framed it as a privacy violation, and they pushed for GDPR. And so, I don't know if you noticed, but now, the internet is absolutely dominated by American websites. Like, we got Facebook, we got Google, we got YouTube, we got Yahoo. Yeah, it still exists. But all of them are American. And you can notice that other nations have their own social media websites. Even though they're not popular with us, they exist. Like Japan has its social media websites. Brazil has its social media websites. When Brazil shut down Twitter, they had their own Brazilian alternative. And the question is like, well, why does European Union have so little? Because they're not a couple, but they're limited. And the answer is because of the GDPR compliance, the costs required, and more importantly, they have additional legislation besides GDPR, like the Digital Service Act, which makes it financially crippling for any person retarded enough to even try and create a social media website in the European Union. There are some crazy people, like for instance, if I'm not mistaken, Telegram, right? I would have to check if they're from the European Union. But they're getting ass fucked as well. Like BitChute tried it, not in the EU, but in the UK. They made the similar thing and they had to fuck off. Like the European Union and its affiliates, the United Kingdom, are insanely hostile to entrepreneurs or people that want to try something. This is why the European Union is called a museum. It's almost like a protection racket for what already exists. And there's also the joke that America innovates, China copies, and the EU legislates. Because this is what happens, like they constantly legislate. The first AI company from that went mainstream into public, OpenAI, was a marvel of American ingenuity. China immediately follows up with DeepSeek. What does European Union do? Oh, they passed like the first legislation in the world for AI. So, what AI does Europe use? I mean, they're trying to create their own, but like they're still using the American one, right? And they still want to legislate American companies. And when America probably not even giving a shit about the European Union, they're basically saying, right, so we have like this problem in our country with our companies, we're going to pass some legislation. And now the European Union is freaking out and is calling America evil. And by the way, in the last couple of days, I've noticed the EU shills going absolutely insane with attacking America. Like, I haven't seen so much anti-Americanism in Europe since the Soviet Union. And I'm not even exaggerating. Like, anyone that goes on X probably have seen just how unhinged all of these people are. And the reason for it is that they're doing literally the same thing that they're doing to the American internet. They're doing it now to the American military. So, because we have a conflict over the border with Ukraine and Russia, the European Union is now trying to dictate what America's foreign policy should be. Like, okay, so they weren't paying their 5% into NATO. They're relying on America as the biggest contributor. And now they're pretty much like absolutely livid and arrogant towards the United States because of Trump's policies. Which, by the way, regardless if I agree or not with them, at the end of the day, like, Trump actually campaigned that he wants to bring peace in Ukraine. Like, that was his campaign promise, and people actually voted for him. So, like, at the end of the day, the European Union is against the American voter. And you can see the arrogance literally right here. Now, let me explain to you what GDPR actually does. Because this is the most important thing. Most people, when they look at the legislation, they actually read the bill, or more often they listen to what the media says that the bill is about. And allegedly, GDPR is about privacy, right? You need to be fucking mental to believe that Brussels, which is trying to push for chat control, and they're basically pushing for the digital ID and websites to do robust age verification on their citizens. You need to be mental if you think these people give a fuck about your privacy. Like, basically this whole thing, right? where they're saying that it's a violation of sovereignty and they don't want Americans to spy on Europeans. Well, I mean, probably not, because they want Brussels to spy on Europeans. No, what GDPR is about is taxing American companies and also gaining EU soft power to tell American companies what to censor. And we saw that with Elon Musk, right? Like, they have all of this legislation that sounds nice on paper. Oh, it's about not scamming people from the EU. Oh, it's about data privacy. While behind back doors, it's, look, you're probably violating all these things because we wrote them in such a vague way that it's impossible for you not to violate them. So if you don't want us to start looking, start censoring a couple of journalists, start censoring a couple of politicians. And when Elon Musk said no, all of a sudden, oh, you're selling stickers. You're selling stickers to people in the EU. $150 million fine. Because when you look at it, allegedly, I'm the victim, right? I mean, I have a blue check mark on Twitter, so I've been deceived by Elon Musk. How much am I getting from that $150 million fine? I mean, I use Twitter. I see other people with blue check marks, right? Like, Elon Musk tells me they're verified. What if it's someone else using that account? And so, how much am I getting for my damages and my angst and my emotional trauma? Well, nothing, because all the money is going to the European Union, right? So you notice that GDPR is just a way of extracting wealth from American companies and probably even European companies, and also to keep down competition. Because at the end of the day, social media companies, they love GDPR. Why? Well, because the tallest guy in the swimming pool wants the water to keep rising. Like, it actually guarantees that there are not going to be any more bitchutes, that there's not going to be any more social media companies to compete with them. And so, yes, they like it. Even though it costs them, it's the cost of doing business. But it's also immoral. And nation states are absolutely addicted to GDPR now. Because if you look at who's actually getting fined over GDPR, you're going to roll your eyes and cringe. Oh, apparently, like, because I looked at Romania at who got fined. Some lady got filmed at a supermarket and they didn't blur her face. GDPR violation. Some guy had a list of the people that live in a residential building so that, who visits knows where to go. GDPR violation. Some person by accident released a screenshot with someone's email. GDPR violation. It's like, come on. And what do these GDPR violations do? Oh, they collect a tax that goes to the government. So it's basically the way the government makes a profit. Because at the end of the day, my data isn't more safe than that of an American citizen. I guarantee to you 100%. Like, not for a second do I believe that I am safer on the internet because of the European Union than any average Joe in America. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.